Hello, today we're going to remove the top part of your GY6 150cc motor, and in this video I'm going to show you how. Hello everyone, this is a 150cc GY6 motor. To remove the top end of this motor, we have to remove the shrouder, okay? First, this is all the plastic that is around your motor. That's where is all the ventilations, take care of the cooling down of your motor, okay? This is one thing you have to take care of. Now the first you're gonna remove is up here we have the manifold, okay? That's what you have to remove first. You're going to need two 10mm up here, okay? And you can remove this one. It's a 10mm bolt right here on the top of your motor. Now if you think all these scooters motors, especially the GY6, they are made of 10mm, 8mm and 12mm socket. So those are the only three really, the one you really need. But there's some parts you really need a 14mm, like the starter over here on the right side. That's where you're going to need a 14mm. Okay. That's where you're going to unscrew the manifold. A little secret about the manifold. The manifold is the connection that connects to your motor and connects to your carburetor. When it becomes dry, it will break over here, okay? So if your motor is not starting, sometimes this one can be broken. So this one is one of the parts you really need extra in your garage, just in case this one broke. I can say this one might break about 5,000 miles, 8,000 miles, you might need a new one, okay? So this one is one of the parts, it's very important, cheap, $5, you have in your garage, something happened, this one might be the reason, okay? Again, we need to remove the shrouder, okay? Make sure you put all the tools, all the screws in a place where you're going to find them later. Because to open this motor, you're going to have a lot of screws, a lot of bolts, so make sure you keep them together, okay? Now to remove the shrouder, that's the plastic part right here, okay? You're going to need right here, that's a Phillips screwdriver to remove the shrouder, okay? You have one screw right here, one screw on the other side, and two screws right here where is the ventilation, okay? You have one screw right here. Sometimes you have two. In some different scooters, you have two. Now you have two screws over here. Make sure you keep all these screws together, okay? Now to remove this part right here, that is the part of the ventilation, that's where is the fan, you have the stator, you have the magneto right here. You're going to need 8mm socket. There is one right here on the top and one on the bottom, okay? Make sure you're gentle with all these parts, because all these parts are made out of plastic, okay? So they break easily. Right here you have the cover fan, you have the bolts. These ones are 8mm, okay? So after we remove the cover fan right here, you still have another screw on the other side, on the right side, right here of your motor. That's keeping this part right here together, okay? So don't start to pull this plastic away, because you're going to break this part right here where you have a screw, okay? Now at this point, the lower part of the shrouder will come out, okay? But not the top one. Because there is another screw right here, another bolt next to the motor that is holding up to the top part. If you don't remove that one and you try to remove the shroud, you're going to break the plastic, okay? To remove the bolt right here, you're going to need an 8mm right here, okay? This one is an 8mm socket to remove the bolt right here. Now you have to turn left, okay? Now after you remove this one, and it comes with a little connection right here, that's usually for the wire or for the carburetor drain tube right here, okay? This one, at this point, this part right here on the top is going to be loose, okay? So make sure you remove this one first, okay? Now at this point you're going to see the top part of your motor right here. This is the top part of your motor. Now make sure you put all the plastic together with the bolt or the screws together, so you're going to remember where they're going to go later, okay? Okay, right after you move all the plastic, you're going to see the top part of your motor right here. You're going to see the naked part of the body of your cylinder right here, okay? So the outside of your motor is visible now. Now what you can do, you have to move the cover right here. To remove the valve cover, you're going to need an 8mm socket to remove this one, okay? You have 4 screws right here, okay? 4 bolts. Now make sure you remove them little by little, okay? You can do a cross pattern right there. You move this one, you unscrew this one, you unscrew this one, you unscrew this one, okay? You don't want to remove them one by one, because sometimes a little of an imbalance on the way you're going to remove your screws or your bolt is going to break the cover, okay? In the joints, in the part where all the other screws are. So be gentle, because this I like this scooter, but sometimes they're not really a great quality, so they break easily, okay? So if you break this cover part, you're going to have a problem, okay? So you're going to need to order another one. It might not be the same, might be not the same size, it might not be, sometimes they even change of really a little bit. That's what really gonna make the big difference on this motor, okay? Okay, right after you remove these bolts, you can open up your valve location right here. That's where you have the chain, the valves, all the arms, okay? So make sure you put this part in a location with the bolts, with right here the screws, so you're not going to lose them, okay? Because all the time when you put something apart, you're going to be confused and you're going to put the things where you don't remember where they're going to be. So make sure you put them in the place where you're going to remember where they are, okay? Okay, before I start to remove this one, I want to make sure that the cylinder is going to be in a dead center, okay? So it's going to be in a place where the valves are going to be closed. So if I do a job now and reassemble later, it's going to be in the same position, okay? So how do I know that? See, right here on the right side of the cam, there is 1 hole and 2 small holes, okay? So the 2 small holes, they have to flush with the body of the motor, and the other one has to be on the top, okay? Okay, to make sure that this right here, this holes is going to be on the center, this 2 small ones going to be on the side, that is going to be the dead center, okay? That's when your valve are closed, both at the same time, okay? So that's where you want to start. Before you remove all these parts right here, you want to start here. You want to have a point or location for you, okay? So how you do that? How you turn this one? The best way, you just grab the fan on the other side and turn it, okay? If you turn the fan on the other side, this one will turn. So look at it right here. You're going to see a big hole, okay? Right here. Make sure it's on the center. And the 2 other ones, they have to be on the side, flush with the motor. right here, flush with the motor cover right here. This line. So you one hole right here, one hole right here, and the larger on the top. Now you can disassemble these parts right here, remove the chain, everything you can do at this time, okay? Make sure you're not gonna move it later, because you're gonna have a problem where you're going to be, where your motor is going to be at the moment, okay? So to remove these ones, you're going to need a 12 millimeter socket, okay? Right here we have a 12 millimeter socket, okay? To remove these ones, okay? These branch nuts right here, okay? Now make sure you remove them in a cracks, okay? You're gonna cross one little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one. Don't move one all the way, okay? Because you're going to be unbalanced all the other one, and maybe it's gonna force and it's going to break the pivot points right here, okay? If they break, you're going to need a new part. So be gentle, okay? A little bit of this one, 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 okay? So a little bit at a time, okay? There we are. Now, make sure you put all these bolts, all these nuts in a location where you're going to know where you find them later, okay? Okay, right here. Right here, okay? The washer and the nuts. Put them in the place where you're going to find them later. At this point, you can remove this part right here. Just shake it a little bit and it's going to come out, okay? Remember, when you're going to put this part back, this part right here is gonna look left, okay? So on top, you're going to have a K2 and an E on the bottom and an X on the right, on the left, okay? That's how it's going to go later, okay? Remember, that's how this part is going to go later. Now, put everything on the side. At this point, we have right here the camshaft with the chain. We need to remove the chain. To remove the chain, on the top, we have the chain tensioner. The chain tensioner is keeping tension to the chain. So at this point, it's not really easy to move the chain. So you need to release the chain tensioner right here. And you just unbolt the screws right here and you pull her out, okay? You're going to need an 8 millimeter to remove this part right here. Right here you have an 8 millimeter, okay? This is the chain tensioner. This one goes up and down. This part right here goes up and down. Now, you need to unscrew this large Phillips screw to make this part going up later, okay? When you rebuild, when you really put together this motor again, you really need to have this part going up, so it's going to be charging the chain, okay? So it's gonna make tension to the chain, because if you put it like that, it's gonna be too much tension for this one, okay? So at the moment, this one is full extended, okay? So, okay, after you remove this one, that is a chain tensioner, you are able to remove the chain, because this one release pressure on the chain, okay? Now this one, try to get a new one, because sometimes they lose the spring, they lose this bolt, you cannot remove it. So every time you remove a chain tensioner on these scooters, get a new one. They're like $5, $7, $8, so you have a better product, okay? Now, at this point, that you remove the tensioner, you remove all the arm from the valves and everything, you only have to remove this part right here. That will be the camshaft with the chain, okay? Now put everything in the place where you're going to remember where you put them, okay? Okay, at this point you cannot tilt the camshaft on the right side, and you start to pick the chain a little bit, okay? So it's going to move. See? If you start to pick the chain, it's going to come out and you put it on the right side. Now, at this point, you have the camshaft right here. Okay? Make sure you put this chain dangling down a little bit. Okay? Right here, this is the camshaft for this motor. Okay? At the same time, when you're there, you can inspection a little bit to see how everything is working and if there is a broken bearing right here. Okay? Very important. Okay, at this point, to remove this middle part right here, you have two bolts right here on the right side of the motor. Okay, right on the right side. To remove these two, you're going to need an 8mm socket right here. These ones are kind of long, okay? And don't be afraid to unscrew them all the way. Okay, because you don't want to force nothing. You want to make sure they're unscrewed. And after you unscrew with a driller, make sure you do by hand. You don't pull these parts right here. Do by hand, okay? So if you feel there is any resistance, you did something wrong or there's something is not supposed to be, okay? So remove them, put them on the side. And at this point, you can remove the top part. Now keep an eye on the chain. Make sure the chain doesn't go all the way inside. If the chain goes inside, you're gonna have a hard time to get it, okay? Slowly and nicely remove this part right here. This is the part where is the valves, okay? Now don't lose this pin. These pins right here, those are guides to put the valves, arms and everything. So these one are pins that you're going to need them. You have them on the other side too, right here. Okay, this pin, you're going to need them. Now, at this point right here, see there's another pin right here. Make sure you don't lose these pins. They have a specific name for this one, but I'm not sure what's the name. But those pins, they're very important. Now put them inside to make sure you don't lose them. Okay? Now, when you're here, if you like, you can use some carburetor cleaner right here and leave it overnight. Don't use really a steel brush to clean this one because it's going to get, you know, scratches inside here. But with the carburetor cleaner, this one little by little will come out, okay? You can keep it soaking in the carburetor cleaner and this part right here will come out. The same thing you can do with the cylinder, okay? And the piston, okay? If you want to. You have to make sure that everything is nice and clean, okay? When you put it back. Now this one is one part of your scooter of the head, okay? Right here, this one is a gasket, okay? If the gaskets are not in the bad condition, you can reuse them. But listen, they're very inexpensive, okay? To reopen this motor will take you a long time. If you want to change them, this one, feel free to change them, okay? Because listen, it's $5, okay? The time, your time values more than $5, okay? To remove the engine, open the engine, and do all this work, okay? So, if you want to remove them and reuse them, that's okay. But if not, just buy a new gasket, okay? They're very cheap. Now, when you remove them, do an inspection of this part right here. Make sure that this part looks good, okay? And don't forget the way it goes, okay? It goes like that. You're not going to put it right there. It goes like that, okay? Always make sure you're going to place it in the right location and the way it's going to supposed to be, okay? Now, at this point, you have this part right here to remove. This one is the hardest part, okay? There is not a screw, there is nothing there. But sometimes with the pressure, they get stuck to this motor, okay? So you have to pry it out gently and get this part out, okay? Or you can wiggle it. Just do like that, and this part will come forward. Now, there's a lot of things that you can get wrong with it. This chain can go inside, okay? So you can put a little string or something longer that you're going to be able to catch the chain just in case this chain wants to go inside. So to remove this part right here, you just wiggle a little bit, okay, with your hands like that, to see if it's going to come out. If not, you have to stuck something here and try to get this part out, okay? But I will not suggest that, okay? Because sticking something here, you might damage this part right here, you might have a leak, you're gonna have a problem. So try to wiggle this part as much as you can, and then you pull her out, okay? Now, if you see down here, that's the cylinder, okay? That's why I say top that center, because the cylinder is down here. Okay? As much as possible. So when you remove this one, make sure the chain doesn't go inside, okay? So hold the chain. This part right here, that's a guide for the chain, will come out, but don't be scared, okay? Because this one is attached to this part right here, okay? It's attached to this part right here, so don't be scared, okay? If this part will come out. Okay, at this point, you can see the inside right here. And you can see if you have any problem. You can see the top of your cylinder, how healthy it is, okay? You can see the side, there is all the bends of the cylinder. If the bends are broken, or if you don't have much compression on your scooter, that's what's the problem right here. All the bends are around your cylinder, okay? Now, why you should do this job, why you should remove your head of your motor. Now, one problem that happened to me, that one of the studs of my exhaust system broke. So I had to remove everything. I tried to get it out with a little driller, but it didn't come out the screws. So I had to remove these parts right here, bring it to a friend of mine that is a good mechanic, and he removed the stud, okay? So at that point, I was able to put this part back. So I was really lucky. So, but I had to disassemble the whole motor to bring this part right here to a good mechanic and remove this part of the stud, okay? Now, when you do this job, make sure you remember where all the parts go. Make sure to put everything nice and flush. Make sure to do not assemble the motor in a sideways, okay? If you wish to remove the piston, there is a little pin on the side right here, the right side of the piston, and you just screw, put inside. Just push the little stud that is inside. There's a little stud right there. That's a specific name, but I'm not sure. You just remove the pin and push this stud on the other side, and you just grab it. Now, if you like to clean the top part of your piston right here, just get some carburetor cleaner. You know, all the carbons that's built up for a long time right here. You can put in a carburetor cleaner overnight, and the day after will be nice and clean, okay? So this one is something you can do every 10,000 miles. You can open up your motor, clean up the piston, clean up the head, where is all the, right here, where is everything black, and there's the valves. You can clean everything and then reassemble your motor. That will be something nice for your scooter, so you can have a longer life. Your scooter can have a longer life. You have a more reliable motor, and it's gonna last you a longer time, okay? Okay, everybody, this is how do you disassemble your top part of your motor. This is a GY6 150cc motor, okay? Pretty easy, but takes a little time, you know. Just take your time, don't rush yourself, make sure you do everything right, okay? Okay, everybody, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we disassembled today the top part of your 150cc scooter motor. And if you have any question, feel free to ask. Please click like and subscribe at any time if you like. And thank you very much again. Have a great day.